Thank you so much for joining us. I am Joe Aguiar, the president of Clovercrest Media Group. Very excited to be working with the VFW. Our guest, Bob Stafford. Guys, thanks both for being here. Novi, why don't you go ahead and ask the first question?
What led you to become a member of the VFW?
My dad was a member. And my dad started it out because there were a lot of us that didn't have time to go to the VFW or wanted to be in the VFW because at that time it was a lot of World War II guys and they weren't happy with things like, wasn't a real war, us type things.
Jeez.
And dealing with people in general, everything you hear about that and spitting on veteran, they did that. That's all the truth. And so we stayed away from it. And it was my dad that got my first card and kept paying the dues for me. And then one day I decided, let's go take a look at this place and see what it's about. And a lot of the VFWs back then were not like this one. And as far as the pictures and everything go. And I remembered that. And when I got here and took over all the decorating type things, one thing I wanted people that came in here, veterans or supporters of veterans, that whatever they saw, they would find something in our club that they could relate to. Whether obviously the World War I guys are dead, but the World War II guys and Desert Storm, Desert Shield, Bosnia, I've got things that someone, if they can come in and relate, then I figured I'd do my job. Plus, it makes them feel good. It makes them feel like they're not that left out person.
Well, sure. When you first showed up, and again, great credit to the World War II guys. I mean, the greatest generation, I think they call them.
That's for sure. I agree.
Yeah, big war, but again, the idea you come along as a Vietnam veteran, you don't feel welcome at the VFW, and now you've taken that experience that you had. You look at a guy like OV. I don't know, I'd want this guy hanging out in my club, but you go out of your way to make even the younger fellas like OV feel like welcome, and I love that you're doing that, and that's a big part of why we're here to highlight the club and the idea
Absolutely.
that this isn't just for Vietnam veterans, this is for all veterans, and you're big on that, and again, you've kind of gone out of your way to make everybody feel super included, and OV, maybe you could kind of tell us how you got hooked up with this VFW here in New Britain, and did you notice like that sort of olive branch, like, hey, the young guys are welcome here too?
Well, first of all, I was born and raised here in New Britain, and I love to tell my story how I've noticed the VFW when I was little because of the marching parades in the city. They always showed their patriotism, and looking at the soldiers or Marines, our Air Forcemen, to where they're marching down, the uniform intact, looking sharp always, and I say, you know what? And especially some of my relatives were among the VFW. And I was like, man, that's pretty awesome. And then most importantly is that in this building, you can also rent the hall. So there's a lot of celebrations in this building, whether it's weddings, banquets, and so on and so forth. And every time that I was here as a child, I always looked at the corner. I was like, oh, those are the men that served for our country. And I never understood that till I got older and I joined myself in the Army. So I spent 23 years in the Army as a squad leader, platoon sergeant, and so on and so forth. And when I came back from Iraq, I was welcomed by the VFW at the airport. And these guys were able to, one, guide me to my next destination, and they were also giving me, some boxes and stuff, the goodies and everything else. And they took care of me. Not only myself, the men and women that served around me, they took care of us. And I said, you know what? I have a different perspective of what it means to be a veteran. And I made it my goal that when I was to come back, when I was finished serving my country, that I will be the member of the VFW and do the same thing for our future veterans. And most importantly, the veterans that are already getting out, that they will still have that support. And some of them, they struggle to reach out. I've noticed for the past year, I had four people that I know that had cancer, and I had two more that were dealing with suicidal thoughts, and they didn't know which direction to go to, and I was there for them along with my peers to give them that guide. And I think that's very important, especially being a member of the VFW, to reach out to these veterans to help them, not only them but also their families as well. So, and because of that, I am proud to be a member of the VFW.
This facility is fantastic, and there's many different parts of it. And for anybody who wants to get a better look at the VFW, you can certainly go to 41 Veterans Drive in New Britain. But we're going to have a video up for people to check out and see all that this great place offers. And people should know that this isn't just for veterans. This is a place where people who support veterans can also come and enjoy themselves. I got lost on my way over here, and I was trying to get directions, and everybody knew where the VFW was, but nobody could point me in the right direction, unfortunately. I feel like maybe they were having a little too good of a time here when they got here. That could be the case. But you guys have how many members, Bob?
178.
And that number is going to be growing, because we're trying to recruit against some of these younger veterans, but you also, I think, are opening your doors to some other veterans.
Yeah, well, also we have the auxiliary, and if you're the within the family of veterans, in other words, your father, your grandfather, mother, anybody that was in the service that's related to the family, immediate relation, if they were not in the VFW, if they have a DD 214 of their parents or brothers, then they can use that to get into the auxiliary. Now, the auxiliary is for non-veterans, but it's in place of the family person. So they get to, in other words, for instance, your father died, one person told me, my dad died, but I always remember the VFW, and when I found out I could join, get his copy of his DD 214, and we have an application, auxiliary application, and show that. Once it's reviewed, you're able to come into the VFW. You have a key that so you don't have to buzz in every time, and you don't get to vote as we do, the veterans, but you're part of the organization. So they put on fundraisers for us. We've had donations when we needed a TV. They donated a TV. That type of, so it's heavy support from the auxiliary. So we need members in them also. And then we have our usual supporters, the people that are in New Britain, that come down here, they sign in, and a veteran they have to sign our book, guest book, and then a veteran will sign them in. So you don't, even if you're not in the auxiliary, but you do have to do that. And we have quite a few of those that have helped out this club during the pandemic when we were closed for 8 months, donations and everything else. So happy about that. So we need more people like that, and that's the goal here, to try and get them. 3 different types of categories there. So.
Well, and I mean, I think politically in this country, you look at the police, and I think to a lesser extent military, I think, we're not actively engaged in a war right now, obviously having pulled out of Afghanistan. So I think for a lot of people, they want to support the military. again, when there's not really wartime going on, I think it could be a little bit harder, as far as sending out care packages. I'm sure that still happens, for soldiers who live overseas or whatever the case may be. But for people who are looking to get involved, the auxiliary seems like a really great opportunity for people to obviously come down and lend their support to the military. Sort of put your money where your mouth is, if you will. So what an amazing opportunity that is for people. I think that's really fantastic. Ovi, we sort of touched on you coming here. You wanted maybe real quick just kind of give us your military service, how long you served. You obviously served in the war in Iraq.
Right, so I served for 23 years. Been through Operation Joint Forge, was in Bosnia. Served a couple of times overseas in Korea, and 2 tours in Iraq. I was happy to say that been very lucky to complete those 23 years. Retired from Fort Hood, Texas, and I reside here now, and just to continue my contribution to serve for our country. I might not be wearing the uniform, but I'm still here doing some volunteer service, and I feel like that's very, very important.
Now, I got a question, and this is not 100% a serious question, but let's say you guys are all out in the bar area right now, all out there, again, different generations, different wars, you guys are telling stories. Who's got the better stories? Bob, do the younger guys have stories on par with what you guys have? These young whippersnappers.
Well, contrary to what people think, there's not a lot of people at the bar that actually swap war stories. You might find somebody, maybe you had a few one night, and then this guy starts talking to this guy, and that's how that would come about. But being around here as long as I have, it's not what you call everybody's asking somebody questions or a new guy. Basically, new guys, and I call them new guys, Iraq, Afghanistan, Bosnia, that type of thing. Mm-hmm. Desert Storm even. but the point is, you go.
I think it's anybody new past Vietnam.
Yeah, seriously. That's seriously. The sense I get.
Just about everybody.
Where do you stand on the veterans from Grenada? Yeah. Are they new or old?
Everybody's new to me. But the thing is, they actually are newer people. They'll come in and a lot of respect. Always show a lot of respect. When they come in, they'll visit, and boy, I can see that and appreciate it. And, to get respect, you got to give, and they do, and they've got my respect. And that's why one of the reasons we want those kind of people, we want them, because we're not going to be around forever, but they should have a place. A lot of them got young families, so it's hard to get out or something, and if somebody wants to take the wife out for a Friday, and stuff, you got to save up some money just to pay the babysitter.
Oh, yeah.
But to come out and be in a safe place and just relax and enjoy, that's the whole thing about this place. And if we're not around and the place closes, when it finally gets to them, hey, this was nice, what happened?
Right.
Well, it's all about membership support.
So this is very much obviously building this thing up, but also so that you can hand it down to the next generation, because military is not going anywhere. We're always going to have a military. We're always going to have a lot of veterans in every city, every town, every state in this country, and they should have a nice place to go. And I think it's great that you've put as much as you have. And Ovi, again, for the young guy like you, the young veteran, and you're not even young.
No,
you're not even young, really. I mean, we're being nice.
Step back.
I mean, I kind of, No, I'm just kidding.
Well, that was bad, wasn't it?
Yeah. But no, it's very important to reach out to the veterans of my era, right? To contribute, come to the VFW, become a member. And even for a little bit, man, just try it out. And again, there's so much information out there to pass along, and not just doing volunteer work, but all of us veterans, we stand by each other. We all experience, something similar, and it is a bond. And, trying to go somewhere else is just not the same. And again, to fully support, and he hit it right on. Like, Vietnam vets decided to say that the calendar keeps going, right? And sooner or later, somebody else needs to take over the VFW and carry on that tradition. And that's what we're looking for. And that's why it's so important to recruit the young guys. So that way, this building, not only just our place, the VFW, but VFWs all around the world, to remain in place so we can continue serving and support our fellow brothers and sisters.
I will tell you this: if you are a fan of the military, you love America, I would tell you, come down here for a visit at 41 Veterans Drive in New Britain, just because there's a couple of signs, Bob, that I know you have up here talking about what it means to be a veteran. Mm-hmm. And I would look at it and read it, but it'll choke me up. And again, to see all the memorabilia, and again, you've got everything covered, even a 9/11 memorial. I mean, literally everything and everybody here gets represented, and it'll warm your heart, and I think it'll make you very proud to be an American. I think, to come down here and see something like this, and then when you're here, you could say, "Hey, I want to help out and volunteer."
Absolutely.
Right. Website. What's the website for the VFW?
So
we're going to put
website,
links up on everything, so you'll be able to find it. But let's give it to them.
So the website is vfw511.org. All the information there, from rental, the hall, to the information what's going on around the community. You can also become a member there. There will be a link available to click, and you can also go to the main page. All you have to do is Google search VFW and subscribe. You could be a monthly, semi-annually, or a lifetime member of the VFW. Just log on and visit vfw511.org for all information.
Part of what we were doing here today, Bob, was and again, kind of why I made reference to, people sitting around telling stories. I kind of want to break the stereotype of what people think of VFW is. Because if you haven't seen one since 1986, you might have a very different impression of what and who you will find at a VFW. And I've been here a couple of times now. A really great crowd of people, having a really good time, a really good mix of, there's definitely younger people here, and definitely some older veterans here. You've done a really good job, I think, of creating a really welcoming atmosphere. We came walking in here with cameras and lights, and I know not everybody wants to be on camera and to see lights. Everybody here has been super welcoming, and we're excited to here at Clovercrest Media to kind of help you guys get this going. And as I told you guys, going forward, if there's anything we can do when you guys are doing drives or whatever have you, let us know, and we will be proud to put our 42 podcasts and 12 live stream shows to work to get this place set and prepared to be handed down to the veterans of the future.
Well, we appreciate that, and even though, he's good at talking, so and I have, as you can tell when I'm talking, I have blanks. I knew what I was going to say, but I forgot, and it's right in the middle. It's like that important word. But the idea is you got to try. So if there were younger people here with memories, that would be great. So. But the club it's a good club, and there is a mixture of people, and it's nice. It's a place to land, relax, and then take off. Bring your wife. It's fine. I've already given lectures on swearing, but military guys, once in a while, or 3 or 4 times, or 6, there's a slip, but we try and control that. It's military, you look at that.
I think some of the improvements that we've made here in the VFW is the actual landscape here, where, one, it's smoke-free. They painted the walls, they redid the floors, everything looks so much brighter, the LED lights, everything. It's beautiful. And again, before the pandemic, you couldn't even see what's inside this building. Now, you could like looking at these photos back here from the Vietnam War, photos from Iraq and Afghanistan on this side. So if you were to come, there was so much to see here. And then also we're doing more activities. Next Friday, we're doing a dominoes tournament. We're trying to get to a spades tournament here and there. They have poker the other day.
I'm in for the spades tournament. You booked that up.
Oh, yeah.
I'm here.
Sure.
Yes,
You're more than welcome to come.
I'd love it.
And it's for everybody. It's just not just veterans itself. Come on down. And again, we're trying to revamp everything that was lost a while. We hit that point where nothing was like a stalemate. And now we're being proactive and giving back to the community. We're also doing donations, to where we take those donations and we're giving out scholarships to high school students that's preparing them to go to college. So between supporting the military, supporting our local community, we want to do it all to the fact that everyone is, we're just being helpful.
Yeah.
Bottom line. And we cannot do that without your support.
And it's family, making it as a family. So if you're a supporter, if you're an auxiliary, if you're a veteran, it's not like it's singled out. It's our club, and the idea is to work in the community, help the community. Here it is.
Yep.
And like where we're sitting right now, this is our meeting room. And we've had people that wanted to use it, business people, small amount of people, and for nothing. That's part of our community service, that type of thing. Yeah, we have this here. You're welcome to it. And that's a big deal.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And we have the picnic ground up on the hill, which is nice breeze. And veterans get that for free that are members. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty cool, too.
It's a really nice area. And the public can rent that as well, obviously.
Yes, they can. Yep, they can rent it, but if you're a veteran and you're a member in good standing, then that's free, and generally they give us a donation, obviously, just because they support the club. So it's all good, and we're happy about that.
And there's the amazing hall next door as well that people can also rent out. That's an enormous building, and again, mentioned this when we toured it the other day. You'll be a little overwhelmed to see the seals of all the Army, and I'm telling you, especially the way things have been the last few years. I'm sure you're all aware of what I'm talking about. Just the way this country's been, to sort of walk into a place like this, and to feel the patriotism, and this isn't politicians.
No,
this isn't the politicians on either side. This is just the dudes and the people that support them that are here, who we do owe a thanks to, and we do owe our lives and freedoms to. And so, again, I would really like to see people, if you've never seen this place, right by New Britain Stadium, you really ought to come down and check it out at 41 Veterans Drive in New Britain, because I'll tell you, I really love this place, having been here a few times, and what it means, and to hear you guys talk about it. I hope that people hear the passion and feel the warmth and the welcoming that you guys are putting out there. One more time on the website, and maybe again just kind of run through how people could get signed up.
Well, one other thing, since
yeah.
you're stuck. We support the police, the firemen, first responders within our community, and they have always, I just want to say that they have always been here, been for us, and that is greatly appreciated. I just had to get that in.
I'll
They're
say
here
this.
when we need them, and that's great.
I was recently talking to some people, again, the Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter thing, and I'm not trying to get political, but, to be a policeman or to be a military person, right? It's just a job. Well, it's not. It's a lifestyle. I mean, this has been both of your entire lives as adults. Your families are heavily involved in this. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you followed in your dad's footsteps, right? So I think people really need to understand that, again, generally speaking, most, my dad was a veteran, his dad was a veteran. That's generally how it goes. Military families. And I hope that people on both sides of the aisle would understand the loyalty that military families would share to the military. And again, I think it's important for people separate the military from the politicians and all that nonsense.
Exactly.
I think that's so important. My mom lost a lot of friends in Vietnam, and we talk about it all the time. And, Woodstock and all that stuff and the protests, I mean, they had it a little twisted there. Again, it was like they were wanting to protest the government, and it very much comes across as protesting the actual soldiers. And I think for you, the veterans like you, Bob, the Vietnam, I know a lot of Vietnam veterans. I think to be able to come to a place like this, to have your own, your own place to go and hang out. You talked about how real it was coming back and being mistreated. To me, what a great way, especially now the way things are, where people could really come and make a difference. And help out you guys who are out there helping other people yourselves. I think it's what it's all about. It really is.
It's making sure that the new veterans, our young guys, are not treated the way that we were treated.
Yeah.
And God help anybody that gives a new guy in this club.
I love it.
Because I'll be there. Because we don't tolerate that kind of stuff.
And it works the other way around too, because we're thankful for our Vietnam vets.
Yep.
And to go out there and I see them, with pride, wearing the hats and stuff like that, to where I go out to them and say, hey, thank you for your service. A good thank you means a lot. It really does.
I left here the other day, and an older fella, I guess late 70s, 80s, held the door for me. And I was like, no, you're not. I said, I'm going to hold that door for you.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service. Get in there. This is great. And I appreciate you letting us intrude here a little bit to shoot all this. It feels a little intruding.
Well,
again, I don't want to
appreciate your help more than you know.
I appreciate.
This is our first time actually doing something technically professional. Generally write notes and mail.
I mean,
and stuff.
we definitely got to thank.
So we're excited.
We definitely got to thank Clovercrest Media for this.
Absolutely.
Again, we've been planning this for a couple of years, and we wanted to do this earlier, but because of the pandemic, we got shut down. But now that we're back and running, thank you, Joe. Thank you for your staff to do this for us. And as well, our website is VFW511.org. Check out the website. Any other information, there's a link there where you can write to us, and we will be very happy to respond back.